Hi, I'm Allison Mance, and this is Brooklyn Cooking, a place where Brooklyn locals share their home cooking creations. Today, we're making sweet corn fritters with cilantro yogurt sauce. Now for the fritters, you'll need 2 cups of sweet corn kernels, 1 cup of flour, 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk, a half teaspoon each of turmeric, cayenne pepper, and baking powder, 1 tablespoon of chopped basil, a half cup of chopped scallions, and 1 egg. And for the yogurt sauce, you'll need 6 ounces of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, a half cup of fresh cilantro, a teaspoon of honey, a teaspoon of fresh lime juice, salt, pepper, and olive oil. So first, let's get started on the yogurt sauce. So for this, we're just gonna dump everything into a food processor. You can also use a blender if you don't have one. Get the honey in there, squeeze in the lime, and then we'll just give it a nice healthy pinch of salt and pepper. I recommend starting with a 1/4 teaspoon each and then adjusting the seasoning after you blend it. All right, so we're just gonna put this in a bowl and set it aside until our fritters are ready. We're gonna get started on the fritters. So first you're gonna add all of your dry ingredients into one big bowl. And we're also going to add a half teaspoon of salt, just to really bring out the flavors. So we're just gonna whisk all of the dry ingredients together. Then we're going to add our buttermilk and our egg, which I've just beaten a little bit. So we're just gonna mix that up. It's gonna be slightly thick. All right, and then we're gonna add our corn and our scallions and our basil. And just wanna incorporate all of that until it has a batter-like consistency, and it will be slightly thick. So now that this is just mixed, you don't want to over-mix it, and then we're just going to transfer it over to our stove, and we're going to start making our fritters. So you're going to set your pan to medium heat, and then we're going to add just enough olive oil to spread out in the pan. If you're using a nonstick pan, you don't need that much oil. You just don't want the fritters to stick to your pan. So once your oil is nice and hot, you're just gonna drop spoonfuls of the batter into your pan. You'll know when these are ready to flip because they start browning around the edges, and that's when it's time to turn them over. So since you're going to be working in batches, I've put a cooling rack aside, but you can also use a stack of paper towels. You just want the ones that are finished to drain while you work on the rest of them. If you're making these as an appetizer, I recommend using a small spoon, and then you can make tiny fritters, kind of like silver dollar pancakes, and then you can just drop a dollop of yogurt on top. Okay, so our last 2 fritters are finishing up in the pan. Our batter is done, so we're just gonna clean this stuff up and let these cool, and then we'll get ready to plate. Okay, now that everything's cooled down, it's time to plate. Just put a little dollop of sauce on top. Garnish with a little bit of cilantro. Okay, let's see how this turned out. Get a nice bite. A little bit of that sauce on there. Oh, it's great. The fritter is just spicy enough, and the yogurt sauce cools everything down. I can eat like 10 of these. For the recipe, other episodes, and more, check out brooklyn-cooking.com. See you later.